What's up, fam? Time for another out-of-this-world story from rSpace. I caught my wife texting another man for years. Then I caught her cheating. To give you the backstory, my wife and I have been married for 17 years and have 2 children, 16 male and 10 female. We were high school sweethearts who got married just after college. Our marriage has been mostly solid with no major issues. No splits, no abuse, no cheating, no dead bedroom, etc. I've never had much reason to doubt my wife in the past and don't snoop on her phone, email, etc. I have a high-stress job that requires me to work a lot. So, yesterday, I needed to submit my phone bill to my employer for expense purposes. We have bring your own device and my employer reimburses us for a portion of our mobile phone bill as long as we submit the bill. I printed the bill and noticed it was longer than usual, 42 pages. With our provider, the bill lists all of the calls and texts you make during the month. So I start flipping through the bill and get to my wife's phone and notice one number repeatedly coming up, a lot. Like, there's literally an entire page of uninterrupted texts, probably 100 plus, just to or from this number. There are multiple entries where she was texting this person until 1 or 2 in the morning, and one day where she texted continuously from 5 to 7. I usually get home around 7. And then again from 9 to 11:30. Not only is the number not one I recognize, but it's not one from our area code. It's from an area code in the same metro area as us, roughly 45 minutes away. So I punch the number into Facebook, and some guy's name comes up. Again, that I don't recognize and my wife has never mentioned to me. I call it from my work number, and voicemail states the same name. So I confront my wife about it. She confesses to having carried on a non-romantic relationship with this person for a year and a half. She said she was lonely and went online on a website for people looking for non-romantic relationships. To be clear, she's had male friends in the past, and we currently have couple friends that are male-female, and I've never objected to her talking to them. But she consciously hid this from me for a year and a half, and during the period repeatedly lied to me when I would ask her who she was texting until 1 a.m. She insists nothing physical happened and that they've never ever met in person, and I'm inclined to believe her. She justified it to herself by saying that it never crossed that line. At the same time, I'm feeling very emotionally cheated on. She took a lot of time that she wasn't investing in our relationship and put it into a relationship with another man that she hid from me. I'm at something of a loss here. I make enough money, top 1%, that we don't have to worry about paying the mortgage if we split, and I'm not worried about finding another partner if that happened. I stay in pretty good shape. I love our kids as well, and I would really miss seeing them every night. That being said, I really feel like my trust was violated and don't know how I can recommit to spending my life with someone who would lie to me like that for a year and a half. Am I making too much of this? Edit. To answer some of the obvious questions that I should have addressed from the start, yes, she's extremely apologetic. Her initial response when I asked her about it was, "He's just a friend." I pushed on that, and she admitted that it was inappropriate and that she lied about it. She was extremely apologetic and said that she would do anything not to lose me. She texted him last night and told him that she can't be in touch with him anymore and deleted his contact information from her phone. If we stay together, we will absolutely do couples counseling. Alright, Reddit community, let him have it. Miatros thinks, sounds dangerously close to an emotional affair. Here are the things to keep in mind. She kept this from you. It's been going on a year and a half, and this guy is fairly important to her. You have no idea who he is. She's talking to him when you are home, as opposed to just when you aren't available. She's talking to him until early hours in the morning. She's lied to you about him. Now she's insisting there isn't anything physical going on. But how do you know? She's lied about this guy. It stands to reason she would lie in order to minimize the potential damage of all of this. The end result is that she's practically destroyed the foundation of your relationship, trust, regardless of whether or not there is any cheating going on. Did she delete the texts? If so, it's probably because she didn't want you to see them. Your trust has been violated. The question is she now being honest and transparent with you? Can you know? Can you rebuild the trust with her that she's shattered? Petron wanted to add on, yeah, are all of the texts deleted, or can you see them to gauge her truthfulness? Even if they are gone, you can probably get them from your telecom provider. DOP's response? Yes, she deleted the texts. I know, and told her, that's a bad fact. She said she normally deletes her texts to free up space on her phone, but it still looks awful. For various reasons, I believe her when it comes to not physically cheating. I had some other ways to verify that she hasn't been going to this part of the metro area. In addition, we were high school sweethearts, so it's not like she has a long list of past lovers. To be honest, if I thought there was cheating going on, it would make my decision easier. I would just be gone. I realize the distinction here isn't that significant. She was getting nearly everything out of this relationship that she would have been getting if she had been sleeping with him. But I guess I still view that as a Rubicon that hasn't been crossed. But wait, there's an update. Okay, we left off Monday night with her admitting to an emotional affair with another man for 1.5 years, but saying that was it. After I posted on Reddit and people mentioned the iPhone recovery software, I phoned to tell her not to use her phone and that I was going to recover the information later that night. She immediately admitted to sexting the other guy. I got home and tried to run the software. For whatever reason, probably human error, it didn't work well. It only pulled up portions of 350 texts, and none of them seemed relevant. I decided not to pay $70 for the whole install and dropped the idea. I went out with a friend, who had been the victim of adultery, for drinks at 7 to discuss, and he thought I should give my wife a second chance, as long as she had never met the other guy. I got home around 9:30. She was sitting with her best friend in the sunroom talking. I said an awkward hi to the best friend, who I am sure knew, and went up to my office. My wife came up 10 minutes later, when her friend had left, and immediately started yelling at me, telling me that I basically needed to get over it and that she wasn't going to feel like she had today for 6 months. I kind of flipped out, noting that I had known for 30 hours and was only receiving trickle truths during that period. After we finished yelling at each other, she left. She went to my daughter's bedroom to comfort her. I assumed she left to text the other guy, and I finished up my work and went to bed in the guest room. I woke up about 1:30. I went into the master bedroom and grabbed her phone. I scrolled through the texts and emails, but there was almost nothing there, as anything older than a day or so had been deleted. I felt horrible. I felt like I needed to be able to trust her, but continued to firmly believe she was lying to me and that there were things she wasn't telling me. I put the phone back in her room and then went back into the office. I googled iPhone recovery software and saw a couple results that looked interesting. I went back into the room and grabbed her phone again. This time, she woke up and followed me into the office. I paid more attention to the software this time. I turned the iPhone into airplane mode. I disabled iTunes autosync. I closed all the programs, etc. I ran the free test, and it came back with 3,500 results, a sixth of which was from the other guy. I paid the $50 for the software and ran the full program. It took about 10 minutes, during which she continually tried to convince me not to look at it. Once I had the results, I started going through the texts. The good news was that there was nothing that suggested she and the other guy met. I had been in Europe from Monday through Thursday of last week, and there were lots of recent texts. A lot of them were sexual, but none suggesting they were meeting. Which gets to the bad news. I asked when they started texting. She said October. I looked through the texts. They're not really organized by name, just file size, so you kind of have to look through all of them, and found one from July. It was clearly from someone else anyway. The style was very different, and was very sexually forward. I can't wait to see you naked. I'll wear anything you want, etc. There was also discussion of meeting up. So, she trickle-truthed meeting up with 2 other guys from Craigslist. She said she fooled around with one of them, but that they met at a park so they didn't have sex. At that point, I honestly felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. All of the doubt that I could trust her again became irrelevant, and I knew I could move on with a clean conscience. Later that night, she trickle-truthed sleeping with the other Craigslist guy, 1 time. Last night, she admitted to sleeping with another guy in Alaska when she went there alone on vacation a 1.5 years ago. I do believe her that she didn't meet the guy she was texting continuously, given the texts I read. Although given the way the texts were progressing, I firmly believe it would have happened eventually. And that nothing seemed to happen when I was out of town for a week, but it doesn't really matter now. You can guess the postscript. She's been crying her eyes out and begging me to give her another chance. I plan on sticking together through the holidays for the sake of the kids, but we'll be moving out come January. Pete Tron gives us the final comment with, "You are doing the right thing. At least now you know it was a lot more than what she said originally. At this point, who cares about the full truth? You know it's very bad, and you can never trust her again. Nothing good will come from giving her another chance. She is a serial cheater. She is just upset she got caught, and now her perfect life is ruined. The kids will be better off in 2 functional households rather than 1 dysfunctional one where their father is not respected. She did this. Her actions broke up the family. It's entirely on her. All right, moving on to the next one. My 26 female boyfriend, 32 male, keeps getting drinks with his female friend, and I just found out she doesn't know I exist. So I posted about this before, but the whole situation got worse. The summary of the previous issue is that my boyfriend kept going out for drinks, an hour or 2 a few times a month, with this married woman, Lucy, who I'd never met. It wasn't a huge deal, and I was only mildly uncomfortable about it, because he has cheated in a past relationship, not with me, but I never mentioned it to him. Then today, things got worse. Last night, my boyfriend mentioned Lucy again, and I casually told him I'd love to meet her. He said, sure, no problem. End of discussion. I figured the problem was resolved. This morning, my boyfriend spent like 4 hours tidying up the apartment and basically not talking to me much. Not ignoring me, just being busy with other things. No problem. Around 2 p.m., I asked him if he's hungry and does he want to eat lunch. He said no, he's not hungry. So I sat in the kitchen alone and ate lunch while he had a beer alone on the balcony. Okay, fine. Then, right after I finished eating, he told me, Lucy just texted me to see if I want to get some drinks. I'm going to meet up with her. Do you mind? I guess not. He could tell I was uncomfortable. What's wrong? I mean, I was waiting for you all morning and even ate lunch alone. And then now you're leaving to go see Lucy? I don't know. It's fine. Go. Why don't you come with us? Well, you are leaving now and I haven't showered yet. Does she know I exist, by the way? She knows you're a friend of mine. A friend? She doesn't know I'm your girlfriend? No. Little by little, people will know. Just come. We've been in a relationship for 2 years, dude. We live together. So you've been spending time with this woman I've never met who doesn't even know you have a girlfriend? If I came with you, would you introduce me to her as your friend? As your girlfriend? Well, as my friend. Do you want me to introduce you as my girlfriend? I will do it if you think it's the right time. Whoa. Don't turn this around on me and make it seem like I'm forcing you to introduce me as your girlfriend. This whole thing makes me really uncomfortable. If you want her to know you're my girlfriend, then come with me and we will tell her. Don't you realize what an awkward situation that would be for me? Hello, I'm Jessica. I've actually been in a relationship with your friend for 2 years, but you knew nothing about it. Nice to meet you. It won't be awkward. Come. I am not coming, and I'm actually quite upset with you. Well, he left to go meet her anyway. Once he got there, he called me and told me to come again, and I said no way. Then he called again, but when I picked up, he immediately handed the phone to Lucy, who told me to come. It was really, really awkward, and I asked her to please give the phone back to the guy's name, my boyfriend. I told him this was really rude, and I'm very upset now. He just kept telling me to come on over. He's still out drinking with her right now, and he's treating the whole situation like a joke. He keeps texting me, come over, and jokes and stuff like it's hilarious and silly that I'm upset about this. Am I overreacting, or is this just really uncool of him and really bad relationship etiquette? Reddit community? What do you have to say about this one? My Life for Ire says, when I was young, maybe about 11, I was with my parents at some church event my dad was invited to by one of his customers. When he introduced my mom to them, he said she was a friend, not his wife, but a friend. My mom didn't say anything to not make the situation awkward. Later, I found out that he had also introduced her as a roommate too at other times. My dad cheated on my mom, a lot. Honestly, I'd start looking for a way out of this relationship. There is only one reason why people don't know you exist. Don't